Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new Carnage gaming video. Today we are going to be talking about some of the differences between CSGO and Valorant. Now there are a ton of differences that we are going to get into comparing them and contrasting them, but before we do that, be sure to download lowkey.gg from the description below if you want to record your gameplay for any game. All of your highlights, everything saved to one place. Let's get into the first little category we're going to talk about. This is movement. Movement in CSGO is much smoother. B-hopping though is harder in CSGO and takes more skill. We can kind of compare these with Valorant because in Valorant, one, you are much slower, but it is a little more clunky, a little more less smooth than CS. And then B-hopping in Valorant is absolutely not skillful at all and works differently. In Valorant, if you bind your jump button to just scroll wheel, you will be able to easily B-hop no matter what with little experience and little practice, which is much different. Now, movement isn't as important and impactful as it is in CSGO in Valorant. In Valorant, movement is a little, like I said, more slow, chunky type of a thing, whereas in CS, you have to make sure your movement is on point with jumps, all sorts of different things. In both games, though, there is no sprint, and you are faster with your knife out in all situations in both of the games. Our next category that we're going to talk about is recoil. Valorant, recoil after the first 8 bullets is somewhat random and very different. But in both games, recoil and spray patterns do exist. The difference here is that in CSGO, they're constant and won't change. So if you spray an AK-47 in CSGO, it's going to be in the same pattern no matter what. In both games though, controlling your recoil is a very important skill to learn, and you basically have to master it if you do want to be a high level player. The next thing we're going to talk about is guns. Guns are more viable in Valorant on different rounds. For instance, you can use a light machine gun or a heavy rifle in Valorant, whereas in CSGO you're not able to. A Negev in CSGO doesn't work the same as an Ares in Valorant does. Now another thing though, SMGs are more viable in Valorant on full buy rounds than they are in CSGO. This is just because of the damage they do, the recoil, everything like that. They're much more viable in Valorant. There are a lot of gun similarities though. For instance, the AK and Vandal are very similar from CSGO to Valorant. I'm going to go through a couple of these guns that are similar. For instance, the M4 and the Phantom, both of those are very similar. The Operator and the Op, again, very similar. The Marshal and the Scout, the Ghost and the USP, the Classic Pistol and the Glock, the Sheriff and the Deagle, the Frenzy and the CZ75 Auto, and even many of the SMGs are similar. So you can kind of use your experience from CSGO to make yourself better at Valorant and more familiar with the guns. Now that we have talked about all of the guns, let's talk about peeking. Slow peeking isn't very viable in both games, but it's not viable at all in Valorant because you are so much slower in Valorant than you are in CSGO. In Valorant, you are never going to see crouch peeking at a high level as it is not viable at all. Crouch peeking is seen much more in CSGO, especially with the Op. Another thing with peeking, because you are slower, it is a little harder to jiggle peek in Valorant, and peeker's advantage is actually a little higher. This doesn't make much sense, but that's just how it is. And then the armor in both games and the hitboxes. In CS, there are 4 hitbox zones. You have the head, the chest, the abdomen, and legs. In Valorant, there are 3 hitbox zones. There's the head, the chest, and the legs. There is not that 4th abdomen level. Now, armor is somewhat similar, as Kevlar in CS resembles light shields, while Kevlar and helmet resembles heavy shields. In Valorant, heavy shields do not just add head armor protection though, it just protects for more damage before breaking and provides better protection. In CSGO, Kevlar and helmet and Kevlar provide same body protection, but with the addition of head armor where you can't be one-tapped by nearly every gun. Another thing, with armor in CSGO, you aren't able to get aim punched when you're hit in the head as bad. In Valorant, if you get hit in the head even with armor, the aim punch is going to be immense. This has been kind of just an overall comparison of CSGO and Valorant. I personally love to play both games. I think they're both great games. There are obviously plus sides and downsides to both of them. Don't forget to join the Discord, linked in the description. Follow me on Twitter, just do all of that stuff in the description. I appreciate you all so much for watching this video. Let me know what you thought about it, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.